before we came on. It tells me it's currently -8 over there, so not too bad. And now I can give you exclusive news that the team for tonight, there is 4 changes from the team that lost to Manchester United at the weekend. We will give you the full team news in just a second. You can see they are arriving now. Erling Haaland, back in Norway. I imagine he will be getting an extremely good reception tonight. Now, a lot of academy players on the bench tonight as well. You will be seeing some young, new faces in the squad today, which of course we always like. There's Nico O'Reilly and James Trafford arriving as well. Phil Foden broke his hand, he's absolutely fine. Will he be playing tonight? I will give you that team news very shortly as well. So it is a 5:45 UK time kickoff. So if you remembered, well done. Thank you for tuning in nice and early here as well. There's Tijani Reinders. Will he be starting tonight? I will let you know that in about 10 seconds. There's Nathan Ake, and he's returned. He is back from AFCON. There is Omar Marmoush. Rayan Cherki, will he start in the Champions League tonight? Look at those stunning northern lights. And here is your team for tonight. So 4 changes from that team that was beaten at the weekend against Manchester United. So in goal, it is Donnarumma. And then you can see it is Lewis, Kushanov, Elaine, and Ait-Nouri, also back from AFCON, starts tonight. Then into midfield, Rodri, Reinders, O'Reilly, or we think he'll be playing in midfield. I will ask my guests that very shortly. And then Phil Foden, Rayan Cherki, and Erling Haaland leads the line. Now, take a look at that bench. There is, of course, 2 goalkeepers on the bench, and then you can see Ake, Marmoush, and Doku, and then 4 of our academy graduates that have travelled with the team tonight as well. So that is your team news for our Champions League game. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are here in a lovely warm studio. -8 apparently it is out there tonight as well, but not in here because we cranked the heating up and we brought in 2 incredible guests. And one, of course, a former Manchester City captain and England captain, and a woman who knows all about scoring against Norway. It is Steph Houghton. Hello.
Evening.
Thank you for joining us. And then we are joined by a man who went from ball boy to a first team star. He knows what it's like to score in Scandinavia.
Yes.
It is Nedum.
That's right, that is me.
Do you want to see it again, or should we just...
I'm sure he'll raise his head at some point. It's inevitable.
Should we just leave it this time?
No, it's inevitable.
Okay, let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it straight away. Is it there? Yes, it is. Here you go.
About to witness history here. Here's one of the best finishes you'll ever see. Do you like that?
That was better than ones I've seen you've scored.
For when you shape up to go on the keeper's far side and you go to the near side. It's,
Were you buzzing secretly?
Oh, absolutely buzzing. There's another angle where...
Why are you that far forward?
It's just transition. I fancy myself to score. But
Transition.
I promise you, the funniest thing about that is like the stand behind the goal was being redesigned, it's being redone. So there was just like a picture up of fans, and before the game...
I thought you were going to say it was named after you.
No, might as well have been. But the day before, when we were training there the day before, I said if I score, I'm going to celebrate in front of this like wall of like painted on fans. But I said it thinking, I'm not going to score. Obviously, I'm not going to score. But to do it...
Manifested that, didn't
soon as... I think the keeper must have known, because as soon as he made that mistake for it to go in, I turned around and I just put my arms up in front of that wall there like that.
Great technique, though.
It was not. It really was not. But it was a goal in Europe.
Oh.
So that counts. That counts.
You've got to try. You've got to take the shot sometimes.
100%.
Proof.
100%,
No one can take it away from you now.
100% shoot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously that Norway's that goal was in Copenhagen, Scandinavia. We'll always find a reason to play that goal for you as well.
It will live forever. That goal, I promise you.
Really will.
It will.
Right, let's talk about the game tonight. As I mentioned there, 4 changes from that team that was beaten at the weekend. I mean, I'm quite happy to absolutely just gloss over that game from the weekend, but of course we will have to reflect on it at some point. 4 changes though. But when you look at the bench tonight, Nedum, where you've got the 2 keepers, the 4 academy players, just 3 outfield first team players on the bench, is that 11 more a necessity tonight, the team that he had to play with what he has available?
It's a good question. It's a good question, actually. I think it's good, for example, to have Marmoush back. You know, he could have played him. I think there have been other players who've played at AFCON who've gone straight back in for their sides and done well. I think, for example, there was Adams, who Nigerian forward who plays for Seville in Nigeria, like he played for Seville yesterday, and he was playing against Egypt on the Saturday. So it is possible to pick those players, but the manager, you know, he still has a plan with the players he has available. So I wouldn't necessarily say we're at the point of where it's necessity just yet. And I think this is the team he believes will do a good enough job here, but then also carry momentum into the next game. So I've got no doubt about it whatsoever.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, and as well, like
strength some confidence, you know,
And this is a funny thing. Like for the next game, like in the league, you've also then got Gehi and Semenyo. You know what I mean? So that, like, I love seeing
Bernardo
the youngsters on the bench.
well.
Yeah, Bernardo. I love seeing those youngsters on the bench. But when you see those like three to come back in, the squad feels a lot deeper, and you know there's more to come as well. So yeah, I'm not worried about anything.
Oh, as soon as you said Anton Semenyo and Mark Gehi, the smile on my face lit the room up. What an incredible sign is that.
It's been a good January, yeah.
We'll focus on them at the weekend, though, of course, and I can't wait to do that. Steph, in terms of this team tonight, then, do you want to play our standard? Where are they playing game? Let's try and work out who's playing where. Or are we just going to accept that Nico O'Reilly's probably in midfield for this one?
I think you could see probably O'Reilly in midfield, if I'm being honest. I think Foden's predominantly played in that number 10 position, but I think you can maybe see him working off one of the wings tonight. We know how good Cherki is in terms of both feet, so he could play either side, but I think for me, O'Reilly was really good in the last game against Newcastle in that midfield role. It was a bit of a surprise not to see him start on Saturday in his normal left-back position. But I think, like Nedum said, in terms of this game tonight, it's really, really important, especially after the weekend. And we just need to try and win these games as quick as we possibly can to qualify as early as we can. And especially away from home, last season, we didn't really perform as well as we would normally expect them to do. But this year, we've really kind of kicked on. And this is another chance to try and hopefully get a bit of form back, even though the last game against Newcastle we played really, really well, but I think it's an opportunity for players to really stamp their authority with the likes of Mark Gay to come back in, Semenyo. You hope to see Nunes maybe back at the weekend as well, so it's a great chance for players to go and shine.
That's another player, yeah. Completely forgot about Mateus Nunes.
Yeah, well, a huge miss.
Yeah, he was a huge miss on the weekend.
Oh, he really was. Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned away games there as well. Our form in the Champions League away this is great. 3 games so far, 2 wins, 1 draw. Of course, our last win out in the Champions League was at the Bernabeu. Nico O'Reilly scored in that one as well. Are you, in terms of his position in midfield, it's not fair, I guess, to say where do you like him best. Are you comfortable when he goes from his now natural left back into midfield?
So it's crazy because, like, Nico O'Reilly is one of the best, like, talent the academy has seen in attacking midfield. One of the best. But he's also an England international left back now for City. So I think to be able to have that sort of variance and variability, I think it shows how good a player he is. You know, somebody who's got the size, he's got the finesse. Obviously, the right foot finish there. It's as scruffy as my one just from a few years ago. But the fact is, like, he's a top quality player and a full England international, very deserving of that. And I think for Nico, he'll be like other people where he knows how good he can play at left back, but he'll believe that his future is going to be in midfield.
And
so
he's developed as well, Nedum. I think it's so important that you go from midfield, where it is a lot different, to playing it in the full-back area. I think defensively his 1v1 has got so much better, and I think when you're in that midfield position, I think it just shows how much Pep really trusts him, because to be able to manoeuvre him into different positions, but we know how good he is going forward and his attacking attributes. That was why he probably got put in left back in the first place, because he can go into midfield, he can kind of link up the play. But I think I was really impressed when he played in midfield against Newcastle, and watched him for many, many games in the academy. He was always someone that was always highly thought of, and it's so good to see that he's been able to kind of really, really star and be one of our stars in the Champions League so far.
Yeah, one of the stars of the season. And like you say, England's Nico O'Reilly. Yeah. I like to introduce him as these days. Let's talk about the centre-back partnership, obviously, with 2 centre-backs in the studio with us. It is one that's been thrown together in the last couple of games. Of course, we know Matchday coming back from Watford. We know Kushnoff's been waiting. We love him. He's been waiting for his opportunity. What, though, is obviously the weekend was tough. The game before that was good. What are you making of this flourishing partnership?
Yeah, the weekend was tough, but I think the weekend was tough for most people that were wearing the blue shirt, or most people associated with City in general. So I wouldn't necessarily lean into that too much. I think as a pair, the relationship, in my opinion, has been getting better and better week in, week out. I think it's a different situation to have someone like Max, who's been out on loan, so not been on the premises training week in, week out with Kushnoff, to come in, and then Kushnoff himself to go in after waiting for as long as he's been waiting. But now with somebody that he hasn't been training with, who's a bit unfamiliar with. but I like their tendencies and how they sort of like rub off, how they sort of do well with each other. I think they're very committed to understanding the role that the manager wants from them, and they're both super competitive, and also they can both take the ball. I think for City, if you're going to be playing at the back, you will receive a lot of balls from the goalkeeper, from people around you. But when it comes down to it, can you defend 1v1? Can you win more of your duels than lose? And those two are sort of great for that. So you don't see times where they're on different pages, because they are literally reading from the same book, in my opinion.
Obviously, you mentioned Mark Gahey a minute ago, that we're all so unbelievably excited to have, at the club now. For me, one of the best defenders in the Premier League for the last couple of seasons. Such an exciting transfer for the club. When you're looking at the two centre-backs, Max and Kuznetsov, they've had this opportunity. Do you think tonight for them, Steph, is this a chance for them to try and prove that they should keep the shirt, or can you see Mark Gahey coming in at the weekend?
I can honestly probably say Mark Gahey starts on Saturday. That would just be my personal opinion. I don't think you go and buy an England international with experience, and he's probably going to be coming into his peak years. He's got experience in the Premier League, obviously with Europe, with Crystal Palace. He's got the experience of winning as well, and I think for me personally, I think Max Alane and Kuznetsov have done unbelievable. I think to be thrown together, like Nedum said, and to kind of play under pressure. And of course, when you go to Old Trafford, the pressure's probably maximised to the most that they've ever played under. And I think for Max especially, I think it's given him a chance to show what he's about in that first team environment. He obviously went on a loan to Watford, and I think for me, the Saturday substitution, of course, we didn't play well, but I think it was a case of protecting him and trying to let him learn from that experience. But I thought Kuznetsov, in terms of the squad, he was one of our best players alongside Donnarumma, and I really think he's given himself the best chance of being in part of Pep's future plans over the next few months.
Yeah, I agree. And I think with Max as well, like the start of the season, Max is playing in the Championship and he's doing a good job in the Championship. And it's great that we've had another kid come through the academy and is now having a pro career.
Yeah.
And he would have believed that he can play in the Premier League. But not only has he been playing in the Premier League, Pep Guardiola has picked him to play in the Premier League. We've seen times gone by with Pep where maybe they'll just drop a midfielder in there. He doesn't necessarily have to play people who are set to be in that position. But the fact is, he's tested himself. He's been a part of City, which, in my mind, is one of the toughest sort of challenges to be a part of, because everybody's got such a high level, such a high standard in terms of understanding how a game works, that your tendencies might not suit this moment. But I think they have. And I think the manager is really starting to build a trust in him to where he knows that if there's a time where he needs to play him, he will play him come the end of the season. Who knows, if Max, say, doesn't start many games between now and the end of the year, for the way that Pep is, you might see him playing a really significant game towards the end because of something that he's seen now. The
thing as well that I look at, we speak about their partnership, they really do complement each other, because I think Max is definitely the ball-playing centre-half, even though Kuznetsov can do that. I think Max's super strength as a centre-half is that ability to break lines, to pick passes, and he seems so comfortable going into midfield, whereas we know what Kuznetsov is from a physical perspective. He's without doubt our fastest player that we have, and his defending and his reading of the game is really, really good. So I do agree that I still stick with my point in terms of Gay should come straight in, because I think we are needing of numbers, but I think for them two especially, I think that's probably gives something Pep to think about in terms of how he builds a squad over the next few years.
He is mad fast as well, isn't he? I'm wondering, you in your prime and him...
It's not even a question.
I'm faster than him.
You're faster than me?
Yeah. Do you want a race? Pitch 6.
Everyone's seen that. Listen, she's asked for that.
We would complement each other. I'd be the ball player and he can be the physical. No, that's a good deal, no?
Take the lead. We got to move on. This is going to be discussed off there, I promise
I've just seen your goal.
This feels like a perfect time to maybe go somewhere else so that we can sort this out between the two of these. So let's go and hear now from the press conference from yesterday from Nico O'Reilly and from our manager, Pep Guardiola.
If you finish in the top 8, you can avoid kind of the Champions League playoff and 2 extra games in February. Is that a real incentive for the group?
Yeah, definitely very important for us to finish in the top 8. As you said, we missed the playoff game, get a bit more of a break. So yeah, it's definitely our aim to finish in the top 8, and winning tomorrow put us in a great position for that.
Hi, Nico. A lot of big teams have been struggling coming to Bodo. What do you know about the club, like the artificial grass, the climate, it's cold? What do you know about Bodo Glimt and Bodo City?
Yeah, we've seen clips on them. We know they can play. They're a good team. Obviously, we've seen results from huge teams that have come in and played them. So yeah, we know it's going to be a difficult game. But yeah, we're coming here to win. As I said, it'll put us in a good position in the league phase. But yeah, we know it's going to be a difficult game, and yeah, we're going to be ready for it.
You're going to train on the pitch tonight. How important is it that you get to sort of become accustomed to what it's going to be like tomorrow?
Listen, there is two arguments with that. The first one is of course, it's different. That's why we trained the night before. When never, since I am here in Manchester, never trained in the stadium before. But they have to see how the ball bounce, how the short passes, long passes, this kind of stuff. And the second, always I thought about that. Life is never red carpet. Life is not never. How quick you adapt and adjust this uncomfortable situations, you are closer to a success. So if I start to cry for that situation, other ones that happen, you don't achieve what we achieved in the past. Always we are incredibly positive, look ourselves in our mirrors and say what you have to do. Not denying that there are situations that you cannot control.
Hello and welcome to Bodo. I mean, I'm joined here by Shells. We'll just address the elephant in the room straight away. I think this is the first time I've ever worn gloves on Matchday Live. Shells, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling great. Other than being cold, of course, not as cold as the ice sauna that we went to earlier, but good to be back at Matchday Live, of course, Champions League nights, but yeah, we've got to wear the gloves.
Special night ahead, of course, not just from a Manchester City perspective, but also from our opponents, the home team. The vibes here in this city have been fantastic. We've had a great few days, which you guys will catch up on. We'll touch on that in a moment, but what I will do first is I will reveal the Bodo team. Now, I'm going to put it on my phone. I'm going to unlock my phone, get it up. Apologies in advance if I haven't. Man, this is a shocker.
Listen,
look,
I believe you got it.
We'll give it a go anyway. Sorry, lads. Right, okay. In goal, it is Houghton, and then it is Svolt, Bjortoft, who is the captain, Gunderson, Bjorkan, Evgen, Berg, Brunstadtvedt, Blomberg, Hov, and Haag for Bodo. I mean, what we do know about our opponents tonight is they've done well in Europe already. We've seen them in the Europa League in a campaign where they've reached the semi-finals. So for them, of course, it's a step higher. They're playing against a team that have dominated, especially in England. How do you think they're going to find the occasion?
I think Bodo will be looking forward to this game, mainly because of Haaland, to be honest. I think him being here is bringing a lot of attention from not only Bodo fans, to be honest. I think the whole of Norway is going to be looking at this game. And of course, they still have a chance to qualify through to the knockout rounds, but they need to try and get a result against City here. So they'll be looking up for it. It'll be a tough game, and the fans will be behind them for sure.
And they do need a little bit of a miracle. They've got a couple of games left, and they need to get positive results and hope results go their way. You'll notice I've just lost the glove. My hands are absolutely freezing. I was revealing the team news, and my phone locked, which was heartbreaking. So the glove is on the floor. Whilst we're panning down to the floor, the surface here is, of course, artificial. It's not like the Etihad. It's not like what we're used to in the Premier League. It's an artificial surface. We had the pleasure of watching the open training session yesterday. The bounce was interesting, wasn't it?
It's definitely interesting indeed, and something it can throw any type of player off. I can speak from our own experience. Playing FC, if I'm not going to a tournament and a different monitor, it takes me a while to adjust. So I think for the players, it will be maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes where they have to adjust to the weather, the pitch, and see the ball bounces, see if they can play the sort of passes and the patterns that they're used to. But I think they'll be fine once they adjust to the settings.
I think it's safe to say if they had real grass here, it'd probably be frozen because, like I said, the temperature is very, very cold. We've seen the City team news as well. The City team news has been announced. The big news for us is, of course, Erling Haaland, our number 9, is starting. He's played a lot of games recently, but he's in his hometown. He's always smiling, Erling, but we've seen some clips from him on social media meeting people here who we must say, Shells, they're absolutely amazing, aren't they? They're such lovely people. He'll be in a great mood and he'll be desperate to show what everybody in this stadium will already know.
Yeah, of course. I mean, big shout out to especially the people from Bodo. I mean, they've showed us around. The people have been lovely. They've been really generous. And it's got a real community vibe here. And I think Haaland, of course, he's playing in his home country. I think the fans will want to see a special performance from him, and I think he wants to give them one to watch as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got Nico O'Reilly as well. We predict he could be playing in midfield, which we saw in the Newcastle game. Aït-Nouri, of course, is back. We imagine he might be at left back as well. He got an assist straight back when he came from AFCON. Got an assist in the Newcastle game, the semi-final. He looks great going forward, doesn't he?
I mean, Aït-Nouri is the only 5-star skiller in the FC, so I mean, there's a reason why he's so good on the ball. And of course, City like to have their fullbacks going, pushing forward, making chances for their strikers, and someone's hard and waiting for the ball to arrive in the box. But Norway and, of course, Nico O'Reilly, I call him the new modern John Stones. I think he's fantastic to watch, honestly.
That is huge praise from Shells himself. On the topic of FC, our Manchester City players will be wearing our special edition 4th kit. It's available to buy now if you haven't already. I think Shells is modelling it across esports channels as well. Look, we're freezing. We know there's some very special guests in the studio, Nedum and Steph. I had the pleasure of being away in the sun with Nedum a couple of weeks ago at the Abu Dhabi Cup, and it was a pleasure. Nedum, I missed you, mate, and I hope you're nice and warm with Steph in the studio.
Thank you so much there to FG. Thank you to Shells as well. Bless them, they do look cold, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Shout out to FG, by the way. He's brilliant. I love FG.
Yeah.
My kind of guy.
Yeah. I want them to get a hat and a balaclava and stuff on in a minute
trying
as
to
well.
act out as if they weren't cold, but they actually couldn't. It looks freezing.
Yeah, they really were. They really were. So we've got the team news now from Bodo Glimt. I want to ask you something from the two professionals in the room in terms of about the pitch. We've heard a lot about it this week. Pep spoke about it in his press conference as well. They got a chance to train on it last night. But just literally try and explain to us, what is the difference? Like, how much is the difference when you are used to playing on grass and then you are going and you're playing on a 4G?
I mean, these boys are lucky to play on the best stadiums week in, week out. Even the training pitches it's just like playing on the Etihad every single day. So I think for me personally, like when you play on a 4G surface, obviously the ball runs a bit different to being on grass. It's a lot quicker. It bounces a little bit different as well. And obviously for your body, it takes a little bit time to get used to getting on the surface. So I think it will be a difficult game, but I think the fact that they trained on it yesterday is only probably going to help the boys, I think, tonight. And I think, especially for the way that we play, it probably helps us in our game that we like to play them passing kind of possession football and very controlled. So I think these boys are professional. They get used to it quite quick.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. And I think they played on an artificial pitch against young boys a few years ago.
Yeah.
And Steph's right, like, it affects your hips and body in a certain sort of way. Like, it takes probably a bit longer to recover because the surface is so different, and it is the bounces and the passing and stuff. Because like you get used to just like a normal bounce on a pitch, but all of a sudden, say a ball is coming towards you, but it's going to bounce before it gets you. The way you've instinctively just know how to deal with it, all of a sudden things start to change. So yeah, it will be the conditions in terms of the pitch will favour Bodo, but the football side of things, it's always going to be City, isn't it?
Now we're going to bring in on our incredible screen in the back a Norwegian football expert. Not that I'm suggesting that you both don't have intensive knowledge of Bodo Glimt and you've been studying them, which I'm sure you have been, but I'm really pleased to welcome in Lars Magnus Royce. Hi Lars, good evening.
Hello, Natalie. Nice to speak to you. I think the analysis on the surface from the guys in the studio was pretty spot on, to be fair. I think Bodo Glimt will use it to their advantage as much as they can and try to make sure they are able to benefit from the differences from natural grass to the 4G. But we'll see tonight. The conditions are very, very Norwegian, to put it that way. And I think Bodo Glimt will make the most of that.
Yeah, very Norwegian. Does that mean very cold? Because, of course, we were warned of the temperatures before we went. Fans were told to take a blanket with them into the stadium, which I loved as well. I just checked my weather app. It says -8. Is that kind of normal?
I wouldn't. It's not normal. Well, in the north of Norway, where Bodo Glimt is obviously based, that's a pretty standard December, January temperature. It is freezing, but Bodo Glimt are used to it. They played in Europe in frosty conditions before, and obviously beat huge teams. So I think a lot of Bodo Glimt supporters would like to replicate one of those famous nights, because if they beat Manchester City tonight, that would be the biggest upset that Bodo Glimt has caused in Europe, even though they went to the semifinal of the Europa League last year.
And a couple of good results this year, draw against Dortmund as well. In terms of the team, Lars, tell us, what do we need? Who are we looking out for? What do we need to know about the team?
So Bodo Glimt, they are a very pass-oriented and quick counter-attacking team. They're very strong on the counter. I think Jens Petter Hauge, he's been in fine form in the Champions League. He's obviously scored twice against Tottenham at Aspmyra, so he's a player to look out for. Also won the Europa League with Eintracht Frankfurt a few years ago, and also plays for AC Milan, where he had his breakthrough at Bodo Glimt at just age 20. So he's one to look out for. And in midfield, Patrick Berg. He's the guy who pulls the strings. A very strong player, was named the Player of the Year in Norway in 2025, although it was Viking winning the league here. Bodo Glimt finished second this time around, but even though Patrick Berg was named the Player of the Year, which says a lot of the about the influence that he has on one of the best teams in Norway. So those two are definitely the key guys to look out for. In terms of attacking, like the strikers, Kasper Høeg hasn't had the best time in the Champions League. However, he scored quite a few goals in the league this year, and today there's been some rumours that Norwich might be in for him, so we might see him in England sometime soon. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but there are definitely some key players to look out for. And to stop Erling Braut Haaland, it would be Nikita Haaland in the net. He has been phenomenal for Bodo Glimt in the Champions League. So, I think Høeg, Berg and Haaland, those are the three main guys.
Lars, tell me about the Erling Haaland effect, the Erling Haaland love in Norway. Just how big is he? How important is he? How loved is he to the Norwegian people?
I think if you look at how much loved he is in Manchester, you can double, quadruple that, whatever you want to do. Like in Norway, he's the man. He is obviously already the top goal scorer for the national team. He's obviously won the treble with you guys a few seasons ago, and he's the biggest football star we've ever had in this country. And it's incredible to see him week in, week out. Doing so well in the Premier League and the Champions League, and he's just a superstar who's loved all over the country, that's for sure.
And a huge congratulations on the qualification for the World Cup, the first time since 1998. I'm Scottish, Lars. I know exactly how that feels. I mean, I bet the whole country went crazy.
We are, to use the Manchester word, we are buzzing with that one, that's for sure. Because I was born in 97 myself, so I haven't really properly experienced Norway in the World Cup, because last time we played was in 98. That time we beat Brazil, which is one of the most famous sporting moments in our country's history, and obviously we look to replicate, create new memories in the summer. We play France in the group, which will be incredible. Haaland against Mbappe. That's the duel that a lot of people are looking forward to. And just being back in the World Cup is amazing, and having Haaland at the front of it as well is just fantastic. I can't wait for June. Obviously, we're talking about -8 in January. I can't wait for 25 degrees and Norway in the World Cup. Those, bring on June.
Lars, thank you so much for your time. You must be so unbelievably busy tonight, so we really appreciate you jumping on and speaking to us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely no problem. Always fun to help out some Manchester friends. So have a good night and enjoy the match.
Oh, can I push you for a score prediction before you go?
Ooh. Well, 2-2. Let's go. 2-2. I think Bodo Glimt can cause some damage tonight. We'll have to wait and see.
Lars, thank you so much. Thank you, Lars.
Best of luck.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Do you think he was speaking with his heart there?
I've looked at the scores. They've had a couple of 2-2s, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
I think he thinks they're on a roll.
Yeah.
I like him. He's got good energy. People know he's got great energy. Like that's brilliant. Yeah, but it's not going to be 2-2.
Yeah, we really liked you, Lars, and we appreciate you. But no, we're not having that. One thing that I wanted to mention, of course, you know the Norwegian league is on its break. Well, it's not on at the minute. They run from March until November. So they've only played a couple of friendlies this year, and obviously they had the Champions League games in December as well. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage, Steph, given the fact that this is our 6th game of 2016 already?
You can look at it probably both ways, in the sense of they'll be fresher, they'll be eager to get started. You've got Manchester City coming to town, a chance to play them at home, but then I think you look at the way that City are, we're in a bit of a rhythm in terms of you playing games. Your body's used to playing these 90 minutes, especially at this level in the Champions League. So hopefully it's not the first one where they feel a bit fresh, more in terms of us being able to kind of do what we normally do. We're so used to playing games every 3 or 4 days and really get into a rhythm quite early.
Agreed. Solid.
Listen, she's my skipper. I agree with everything she says.
Everything she says.
Except
half of the pace.
Yeah.
Except for that, yeah.
Right, it is time for another one of our wonderful games that we love to play on Matchday Live, and we test our guests' knowledge. And this one, it's a classic higher or lower, and we are going to test your knowledge of Norwegian Premier League players. Okay. How are you feeling? Yeah.
Higher or lower, what are we talking, appearances or goals?
Premier League appearances.
Right, okay.
So we're going to start with John Carew, and that is 20. Is that 23? Your eyesight's probably better than mine, Nedum.
Yeah, I'm sure John Carew played more than 23 games in the Prem. Is that supposed to be a 123?
123. We're missing the one off the front of it. I think it's hidden in our TV in the studio. So John Carew, 123 appearances. So we are going higher or lower. Now, I don't know how you pronounce the next Norwegian surname. Fjortoft.
Janaga Fjortoft. Yeah, I work with him.
Yes. Ah, okay.
Yeah, Janaga Fjortoft. I think he played for a bit in the Premier League. Well, he was at Barnsley and places like that. I have to go lower, yeah. Janaga's
the fact
good
that
player.
You said a bit, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think it might be considerably lower.
Lower than John Carew's 123. What is the answer? 84. That's still a lot of games, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of games. Shout out to Janaga Fjortoft. Good guy, really good guy.
So the next one up, do you recognise that guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe. Yeah. Erling Haaland played more or less in the Premier League.
It's high. It's not like one...
He scored over 100.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like 120 or something. So
I think he's scored more Premier League goals than that, hasn't he?
Yeah, higher.
Higher for Erling Haaland, 119.
Bit tricky with his dad now, though, isn't it?
His dad, Alfie Haaland. Is it higher or lower? Premier League appearances than our Erling's. Ooh, what are you thinking, Steph?
How many years was he at Leeds for?
That's what I'm trying to work out. I think potentially lower, because then he got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. He assaulted. I think I'll go... Should we go lower?
I think lower, yeah.
He's getting sunned by his son. Yeah, we'll go lower.
OK, did Alfie play less games than Erling?
Oh, miles off the pace. We're absolutely miles off the pace.
181! Absolutely loads pre-assault.
That's probably... looking at those guys, that's probably top 3... Oh, no, Solskjaer's there. I was going to say amongst the highest ever in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame. We're busted now.
I reckon Odegaard will be lower, though.
Yeah, Odegaard has to be lower. Can we keep playing, please?
Right, we're going to stop at Josh King, so we'll give you Odegaard, then we're going to take like a cliffhanger because we know that people will be desperate to know what's coming up after it. So, Odegaard, are you saying lower?
Yeah.
Oh, just though.
It's cooking.
Just though. 167. And then Joshua King.
I'm thinking Josh King has to be lower. He played a lot of games for Bournemouth. Was he... He wasn't a Blackburn in the Prem. No. He has to be lower.
I would say lower.
Yeah, got to say lower.
Josh King, as he played less times than Martin Odegaard.
I hold my hands up here. I'm disrespecting like Norwegian Premier League royalty here. Like, I'll be completely honest about that. I hold my hands up.
Lars is going mad right now.
Yeah. I'm so far off the pace.
Yeah,
Norway's had a significant impact
sorry,
in the Premier League. I'm sorry, everyone.
OK, with that bombshell, we're going to let these guys catch their breath. Come back soon for more incredible Norwegian Premier League appearances, higher or lower. And in the meantime, let's have a little look at some of the best of City's Norwegian players.
I think from the beginning when Oscar came, I saw that he had something different, you know. Sometimes you can see it in players and, you know, and then when they show it, you see it.
De Bruyne tries to scoop it in towards Bob. Bob is there, still Bob! Oh, absolutely stunning!
Can play in 5 positions, striker, right wingers, left, in pockets. He's so dynamic. The work ethic is unbelievable.
The addition of international experience merely added credence to their top-flight status.
It's a massive club. They've been sort of out of the Premier League for too many seasons, and they're back where we belong now, I think. And you know, for the future ahead, I think it could be a very good place to be.
Doku. It was left for Haaland, and there's the landmark goal. 100 in double quick record time in the Premier League. It's taken in 111 games, that's all, erasing Alan Shearer's 124 from the record books.
Do not tell me you haven't got one eye on 261. And if I know you, you have.
Okay, I have.
So that was the best of City's Norwegians. Now, we're going to take a little breath ahead of tonight's game. 45 minutes now we are away from kickoff in the Champions League this evening. And we're going to have a little look ahead to tomorrow because there is another big game tomorrow. This time our women are playing in the semi-final of the Subway League Cup. And it is a replay of last year's final. City taking on Chelsea. It is here at the Joyce Stadium. And it is United versus Arsenal is the other semi-final there. The final will be held on the 15th of March at Ashton Gate. What an incredible, just to get there and to just start the season with the running still there, Steph, to win that trophy would just be amazing. But of course, one eye, first of all, on tomorrow. How are you feeling ahead of the game?
Nervous but confident at the same time, I think, in terms of what the girls have done this season, the team. I think they've really kind of matured. You've brought new players in to freshen up the squad, but also the performances have been really, really good. And the most important thing, even though the performances can still be better, we've been able to win games. I think 12 games on the run now where we've won. And I think in terms of the big picture, tomorrow night's game, for me, I think if we win that, I think that gives us a huge boost of confidence for that important week against Chelsea and Arsenal for the league, which we are now still 6 points ahead. So I'm excited because these are the games that you want to be involved in. Semi-final nights at home at the Joyce Stadium. It's they are the ones that you want to be kind of involved in. And against Chelsea, who we know are very, very successful, it'll be nice to get ourselves into the final.
When you said 6 points still clear at the top of the league table, my stomach went, what? Like every time I see
we
that,
were speaking about that before, of course. Like you look at it from like a points point of view and you think, okay, like it's a big gap, but like things in football that can change very, very quickly. And like that Chelsea-Arsenal week is going to be vitally important. And I do think that we have a squad that's capable of winning the league and the League Cup and also the FA Cup final. That's what we try to do over the last few years. So very excited and can't wait to watch.
Yes, same. I cannot wait to watch for tomorrow night as well. Oh, if we could just get another one over Chelsea, I would love that so much. We spoke this week ahead of the game tomorrow. Let's hear now from Viviana Miedema.
I think Christmas came at a bad time for us because we were on a roll with the team. We won a lot of games. It was nice to switch off for a bit, to not having to play for a bit, but really happy to be back in again. And obviously, it was really important for us to start with 3 points over the weekend, and I'm glad we done that as well. It's a semi-final in the cup. It's going to be a big game anyway. It's going to be a big game because we do play Chelsea. I think it's going to be a really tough game. They've obviously got a lot of quality, and probably dependent on who turns up on the day will win that game. Biggest games, like when there's people there, when stadiums are sold out, are the most important and special games to play in. You want to be playing against the best teams, and Chelsea is one of the best teams in the world, and it's great to measure ourselves against them, and hopefully we can come out on top this time. We need you guys. Obviously, playing in full stadiums is the most amazing thing as a player. I think lately the joy has been a lot more lively, and we feel that as well on the pitch. And just keep it up, and hopefully it will be a sold-out game.
We've developed a real sort of rivalry with Chelsea over the last few years. Well, obviously, we had the trilogy that happened last year as well that obviously did not go so much in our favour. Andre was asked about it in his press conference and he said he doesn't know of any rivalry. He's just played Chelsea once, which I loved, of course. Of course, Chelsea beat us on the opening day of the season, Nedum, and then we've gone on this incredible run ever since, taking this 6 point gap in the league. We've got Chelsea at the Etihad coming up in a couple of weeks as well. I'll be there. I cannot wait for that one as well. In terms of this game tomorrow night, getting to the final of the League Cup is one. But is the other side of it for you a way for Chelsea to try and, just remind us that they're there and to maybe stamp some sort of confidence down?
I think given the fact that they've not played against each other for such a long time, then it is a good thing to almost get a feel for where things are at. I think the context around this cup tie is the fact that it's literally, if you win, you're in the final. If you lose, that's it for the season in this competition. So there is a sense of pressure that comes with that. But, you know, these City and Chelsea, they're the two best sides in England this season, you know, and especially for City, like, this is as good as we've seen them play in a long while now. And it feels like they are good enough to be able to finally take that title away from Chelsea. So to be able to test yourselves, but to be able to do it at home, and not necessarily to put a mark down on the game, because as we saw last year, you can win one of the games against Chelsea, but is that the most important game? What does it mean for the next one, and so on? But it's going to be super competitive, and the margins are so small. But I think City have got so many like key players and match winners who are all available right now that, like, I think there's a reason why they're top of the league, and I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, and we heard from Viv just there, Steph. She said 3 goals in 2 games, or 3 goals in 2 games. Yes. I mean, she's in great form as well at the minute.
Yeah, she really is. I think we spoke about her a lot last week in terms of her and Bunny and their partnership, and Viv being that little bit deeper, playing as a 10, whereas normally, like, I used to play against her as a 9 and she was a very, very good 9, but you've got the likes of Bunny Shaw that you've got to try and find a way for them both to fit in the same team, and I think she's really adapted to her role really, really well. I think now she's getting the goals that she probably would have scored if she was that number 9. She's providing assists, and the main thing for Viv is to stay healthy and to stay fit, and we've been able to manage her as much as we can this season. I think to be able to get 60 minutes of her best Viv Miedema is amazing, because then you've got the likes of Grace Clinton coming off the bench. We've obviously got a new signing in Sam Coffey that can contribute now and play in this game. So I think we're in a really healthy position, but I think for me, Viv is one of the most important players, and like Nedum says, we need their match winners to really perform tomorrow.
Imagine Andre coming in his first season, the first competition that he's got a chance of getting to a final to, and he gets to a final, Steph. That's a statement.
And you know what, Natalie, this is like, for me, coming to this club, this was the first trophy that we won, and it was amazing. There was like, we were the underdogs. Nobody ever expected us to win it in that first season, and I've got so many special memories with this trophy, and I think everybody kind of plays the League Cup down a little bit, but it's a trophy and there's not many trophies to win. So for us and for Andre, I think to get that first one under the belt, obviously we've got to win tomorrow, but I think it gives us a great chance of bringing silverware back.
I would love a League Cup double at this club. I would love...
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, for the men and the women to win it. I think that's a statement in itself about how seriously we take all the competitions as well. We talk a lot about City's attack because we are so unbelievably blessed in the attacking departments on the pitch all over with the women, Nedum. But I love our defence. Kirsten Kasperite remains probably my favourite Manchester City player, partly because of her personality, Steph, but also because of the way she commits on the pitch as well. Defensively this year, I just feel like we've looked so solid.
Yeah, absolutely have. And I think Jade Rowe's been a big sign as well. I think she's done really, really well. But Kirsten, she's so reliable. You know, she's a player, I think, was it 2 Player of the Month she's received at fullback, which most people turn their nose up like, oh, fullback, nobody cares about that.
Nobody remembers that.
Yeah, she's done very, very well, and she's very committed to the challenge, like defensively, like she wants to win her duels, but also she's good enough where in attack she can be a huge asset as well. But I think she kind of sets the tone of her continuity and all around her. So many players are doing well. It's been good to see Rebecca Knack be back in as well. Alex Greenwood be back in. You know, Wahhabi's in there. And I'm obviously forgetting to name some other players. But the manager has options, and he knows all the traits of all those people who can play at the back. And they're all super competitive, but really good on the ball. And I think from when the tone is set in any game of football, whoever they're playing against, they know they're going to be in for a tough night.
And they will be in. Both City and Chelsea will be in for a tough night tomorrow night as well. What sort of game are you expecting? Do you think it's going to be full throttle from like the first second?
I don't know. You know,
different from the first game. It will be.
The first game of the season, it's at Chelsea, isn't it? Yeah. And like the manager is new to his position. He's had a group of players who, some of them are coming off the back of, say, the Euros in the summer. Like, things aren't necessarily in full flow. What are his messages? Like, what are his coaching staff? Like, things aren't as settled as they are now. So this version that we're seeing of City right now is a better version or a true representation of who they are, except they're carrying a ton of momentum. Like, you say it's 12 wins in a row.
Yeah.
I'd say 90% of players all across the board, from amateur through to pros, will never win 12 games in a row. So the feeling that they must have within that group is as good as it could ever be. So again, they'll probably want to be the protagonist in this game. Chelsea themselves, maybe they won't have as much possession as they say maybe they want to, but they know their strengths, they know their individual quality, and it will be a battle. But what I love is, like, I think for me personally, there are times in the past with, say, City to where, like, the football side of things was so good, but can they go toe-to-toe with Chelsea, who, in my opinion, through some years, have just been this brute force bully that can just find ways to win games and win titles. I think City have got that, as well as all the really good footballers as well. So, honestly, I'm having City so much for this game.
Oh, me too. As you were talking there, I could feel my excitement like building up for it. Yeah, cannot wait.
But sorry, to be fair though, I've said that. Steph, what do you think? I think it's probably more important that you get a gauge for it, having played against them before.
I think normally when it's City v Chelsea, I know it sounds so generic, but it is about who wants it more and who's actually brave enough to take their game to each other. And that trilogy, or the 4 games that we played against Chelsea, it was very much up and down from us in terms of the final. I think Chelsea got their game plan really, really spot on. But then when it came to the Champions League game at home, we really took it to them. We really pressed them aggressively. We used our best players to really get in their faces. And Chelsea are going through a spell where they're trying to change the way that they want to play. They're going to be trying to be a bit more possession-based, whereas when we speak of Emma Hayes' teams in the past, they've been very, very ruthless and been able to win games. So I am excited because I really do think in them first 15, 20 minutes, if we can really go and get Bunny firing and Lauren Hemp and Carolyn and Yui on the ball, I think Chelsea won't have any answers for us. So it's a big game, and obviously the fans are so important when it comes to the Joy Stadium.
And it is here at the Joy Stadium tomorrow night. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff. We've got Nick Walsh on commentary duties. You can get that on the City app if you're not currently watching on there. If you don't have it, get that downloaded nice and early so you can get the full commentary tomorrow from 7 p.m. Absolutely best of luck in the semi-final there to our women's team. Now, you may have seen this picture at a recent Premier League game. I think it was the West Ham game. It went around social media. Hey, Erling, do you remember that man there played in goal and faced our Erling Haaland? I imagine goalkeepers around the world have had nightmares about facing our Erling Haaland. Well, this man did it, and he conceded not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times to our very own Erling Haaland, and that was just in 20 minutes as well. Oh, God bless him. At least he can clearly see the funny side of it. But do you know what we went and did? We tracked him down. We spoke to Samuel Sahin Radlinger, and here is what he had to say.
There was Molde with a young 17-year-old Erling Haaland who scored 4 goals in 21 minutes. To be honest, I didn't know him as a player because he was just 17 years old, and at this point I think he didn't score that much goals. Our season until this day was excellent. I think we were in 2nd place. Our defense was amazing. We conceded only 2 goals, I think, at this point. Then there was Molde with a young 17-year-old Erling Haaland who scored 4 goals in 21 minutes and made this day for Brandbergen a bad one. To be honest, I didn't know him as a player because he was just 17 years old, and at this point I think he didn't score that much goals. But I heard from the other players and also from the coach that there will be some scouts at the stadium, some big international clubs, and for this point it's just unbelievable that especially at this game he comes out with 4 goals and impressed everyone in the stadium. Aside from his finishing, biggest thing was his attitude and his self-confidence. He played like he played already 15 years at this level. It was just I was just impressed how, I don't know if you say it like this as well, he was ice cold in front of the goal. He took every chance he get. He was just unbelievable finisher. I was at the West Ham game in December when Erling scored twice, yes. Just nice to see that other goalkeepers have the same thing with him and concede some goals of him. But he did an unbelievable game, I think. In the box, he's just crazy. He's always dangerous, and when he gets the ball, there can always be a goal or some dangerous attacks. So, that impressed me a lot again. I think if City brings their qualities on the pitch, then it will be a very hard game for Bodo. So, all the best for tonight's game, and hope to see you soon again. Bye bye.
Oh, thank you so much to Samuel for speaking to us there. And you know what? We've got a signed Erling Haaland shirt and we are going to be sending it to Samuel. He's playing out in Vienna now as well. So thank you to him for his, for the great spirit of that as well. Now we're going to welcome onto our wall in the background one of my absolute favourite City players of all time. I love him. He's a proper legend. Uwe Rosler, welcome back to Matchday Live.
Good evening, Natalie. Good evening.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, yeah. Fit. Started the second half of the season. Had a very exciting game on the weekend against Darmstadt, 3-3. So preparing for the next one, as usual. So right in it.
So you're managing out in Germany now at Bochum.
VfL Bochum. Yeah, a very traditional club. Right in the Ruhrgebiet, very close to Dortmund. There's lots of football clubs in that area, a lot of rivalry, and Bochum is a special place. Football is a religion.
Now, Uwe, I want to talk football with you, but if there's something in the world that I actually like more than football, it's a good old romance story, Steph. And I believe you have the most romantic story to do with Bodo Glimt.
I'm not sure Natalie is the most romantic one, but it was a very important one for me. So I met my wife. I think we were at the training camp in 1994 in Norway. Our base camp was in Houghton, is on Oslo Fjord, an hour away from Oslo. We were 8-9 days there, and I met my wife there. She worked in a hotel as a guest relation manager, and we met there, and after that, we never looked back. So nearly 30 years married.
You met your wife when you were in Norway with City on a training camp. We actually had a friendly with Bodo Glimt that year as well that we got beaten 5-1, by the way. 94, 95. You met her in the hotel while you were out there training, and then that's 30 years. Oh, it's blown my mind.
Yes, we had the base camp in Houghton, and then we flew to Trondheim. We played Rosenborg Trondheim. We had 3 games on that trip. That was the second game against Rosenborg, was the biggest one because Rosenborg was a regular member of the Champions League at the time. They were a top team in Europe. We played 0-0 there, and then the last game was Bodo Glimt after 12 days training camp, and we got hammered there. We lost 5-1. A trip where we all thought, oh no, Brian will stop us going out in Oslo before we fly back home. So, but Brian understood that was the last game, and we worked very hard for 12 days. So, yeah, we went out, and then my wife came to Oslo, and we had a nice evening and went for dinner, and then we kept contact until she moved over to England.
So if Brian Houghton had not let you go on a night out...
Exactly.
And then you might, of course, your children then might not exist because your son Colin had a cap for Norway as well.
Yeah, we don't want to go so far now, Natalie, you know? So theoretically, yes.
Not on that night, of course, yes, Uwe. Is that when, meeting your wife, is that when your kind of love for Norway started? Because, of course, you played there and you managed there as well.
After in the end, very late in my career, I went to Norway. My wife was following me for 8 years with the kids, traveling through different countries, different clubs, different cities. And I think in the end, that was my turn to give her something back. So we decided to finish my career then in Norway. I went to Lillestrøm. That was not so far away from her parents, only 1 hour. And so I fell in love with the country. Our kids are grown up. There's a beautiful country for kids to grow up, very safe, great nature, very good. You have the summer, decent summers, but very cold and clear and enjoyable winters. I really like the winter in Norway. There's obviously is my habit to travel between Scandinavian countries is obviously comes also because of the background with my wife.
It's such a I love it. It's really made me smile. Such a lovely story. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, Juve. So it started off when we had a friendly against Bodo and we got beat. Of course, we'll be really, really hoping that is not what's going to happen tonight, Juve. Ahead of the game, what sort of game do you think City can expect tonight?
For some years ago, I worked for television on the day, and I went up to Bodo. There was a European game, and Bodo played against AS Roma. Similar time of the year. Roma wasn't prepared. Roma was not ready physically and mentally, and Bodo Glimt won 6-1. This City will meet today a team that is very well structured. The coach doing a fantastic job over many years. Established Bodo as one of the top 3 teams in Scandinavia. They have a big advantage of the artificial pitch, and I saw that. The preparation Pep did to go a day before was very, very important. Roma didn't came a day before. I remember that. The weather will be okay up in Bodo. Is actually quite nice, cold, but blue sky. So at the time when Roma was playing, there was a lot of snow. The players didn't fancy it, and Bodo took completely advantage of it. Bodo is a threat, especially on a home pitch, and but. Under normal circumstances, we should win the game.
Would you mind giving us a score prediction?
2-1 for us.
Okay, I'll take it. 3 points. I'll take it.
I take it as well.
Thank you so much. Please send our love to your wife as well, and we'd love to hear the story about how you met.
I will do. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
It's lovely to see you. We hope to see you here soon in Manchester.
You.
Thanks, Juve.
Yeah, I'm soon back. Promise.
Thank you. Bye. I love that story. And I don't know how we found out about that as well. To ask him. Love that story. Love a bit of romance here in the studio. Thank you so much there to you, Ray Rossler. So, a couple of weeks ago on Matchday Live, we followed the Sampson family as they came from Devon to the Etihad Stadium to watch the Blues in the FA Cup. Well, tonight we've got an even bigger journey for you because Ollie is part of the Norwegian OSC branch. He has done us a vlog of his journey from his home to the game tonight.
Morning people, my name is Ollie. I live in the beautiful village of Balsand in Sognefjord in Norway. I've been a Blue since about 85 in the days of inbred banana variety. Today you can follow me on my journey up to the Champions League match versus Bodo in the very north of Norway. It's after o'clock here in Norway and it's time to start my journey. First leg of the journey is by car to Bergen. Here we are at Bergen Airport. The drive from home took me about 3.5 hours. If I'd been driving all the way to Bodo, it would have taken me at least 19 hours non-stop. So a couple of flights from here and I will be in Bodo. evening, people. We made it to Bodo. We made it to Sports Bar. We've got ourselves a drink. I met up with loads of friends from Manchester, even some Norwegian blues, and we're all good. Up the moose.
Ollie, thank you very much for joining us on Matchday Live. We'll take a walk. I mean, first things first, let's talk about your journey to here. I mean, you said that you arrived yesterday. How far away was it?
If I'd been driving all the way from home to here, it would be a short 1,300 kilometre drive or 20 hours non-stop. So instead, I decided to drive to Bergen, to nearest big airport, took a plane from Bergen to Trondheim, another plane from Trondheim to Bodo.
And I have to ask you as well, because of course the Beanie Hat is a very iconic place for Manchester City supporters, because that is where our number 9 is from, Erling Haaland.
Thank you very much for noticing.
I mean, yeah, listen, I mean, thank you very much for wearing the hat as well, because I have to talk to you about, firstly, the impact Erling's had on Norwegian football, but also the impact he's had from a Manchester City sense, because we've seen so many Manchester City fans who are from Norway. For example, when we arrived at the airport, there was lots there, and overall there's such a positive feel about Manchester City.
Yes, you're absolutely right, and you know, for me personally, this is a very, very special experience, because I've been very, very lucky. I've seen City all over Europe, and I absolutely love travel around Europe and everywhere to see City. This is the first time ever for me to watch City in Norway, in my home country. So for me, it's very special.
What can we expect in terms of atmosphere tonight at the stadium? I mean, Norwegian football fans, what type of energy do you think they're going to bring tonight?
I think the Bodo fans, they are very vocal, but it's not, to be honest, it's not the big ground. It's not the very good ground with regard to the atmosphere. They've got a new ground coming, so if we ever play Bodo Glimt again in the future, we'll hopefully be welcomed in a proper new modern stadium.
And of course, Norway have qualified for the World Cup in the summer. How do you expect you guys to do?
All Norwegians, they really want Norway to do well. I hope we can qualify from the group. It's going to be really hard, but if we qualify from the group, I think that's a massive, massive achievement.
Thank you so much to Ollie there for sharing his journey today. Best of luck to Norway in the World Cup. It's going to be a tough group, but absolutely best of luck to them. You know what else is going to be tough? It's going to be tough for Steph and Nedum to do the second half of the higher or lower game after we left it on that huge cliffhanger. The cliffhanger of Josh King and his 204 Premier League appearances. Do play along at home as well. So this is Premier League appearances for Norwegian players. So we were on Josh King. We moved to Tore Andre Flo. Higher or lower? Oh, we've got concentrating faces now.
Tore Andre Flo. It's Chelsea.
Sunderland.
Was it Sunderland as well? Ooh.
I feel like he played 1 million games for Chelsea.
There's our answer then. Higher.
I don't have them.
let's go higher. It's a lot of years. I think he's probably played more years in the Prem than.
Okay, is it higher? Oh no, 141. I threw you off, didn't I? I'm saying nothing again.
Solskjaer's higher.
Surely the next one is higher. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 235. Okay, the next one, John Arne Riise. Higher or lower than 235? I
think so higher. But...
You reckon? 235, we're looking at like 7 or 8 like seasons of like top play there, continuously getting picked. I don't know if John Arne Riise has got that, you know.
I'll go with you then.
I feel like he was around for forever.
That's
but
what
then
I mean.
said that about...
That was at Liverpool and...
Fulham?
Yeah.
Was he playing week in, week out for Fulham?
You'd expect so, no?
Let's go higher then. Let's go higher.
Are you happy with that, Steph?
Yeah, why not?
You talked me into it, so you got to be happy about it.
Let's go higher.
Oh, Steph, you've absolutely nailed that. You've absolutely nailed that.
He's a full-back.
You have absolutely nailed that.
You down
that
me a
is
little
my
bit.
that is my queen.
Right, okay, I don't know this one.
That is
That's Morgan Gams Pedersen.
That's Morgan Gams Pedersen. It is.
Pedersen has to be lower.
Has to be lower. Has to be lower.
I didn't know.
Has to be lower. 260.
It's 260.
That's a lot of
Wow.
games. Okay, that is Klaus Lundekvam. He plays for Southampton.
Yeah, yeah. Klaus Lundekvam. I'm hoping it's lower. It should be lower. Has to be lower than 260.
Is it lower?
Oh, wow. we need to go and revise or something.
Okay. Oh, you need to go to team on your own, Steph.
It's all right.
John
we're
Arisa
together.
321 is one of the biggest flexes I've seen. That's
the
very
highest
impressive.
as well.
That's very impressive.
So he's the highest
absolute
Norwegian player
baller.
in terms of Premier League appearances.
Yeah.
That's a great quiz question.
Yeah, absolutely is. I wouldn't, if I was to guess, I wouldn't have gone for John Arisa, Morten Gams Pedersen, and Klaus Lundekvam as the big three.
Yeah.
No, you'd think Solskjaer would be up there.
Yeah,
Fair play.
fully.
Fair play.
Well, work to do.
Thank you, though, for taking part. Thanks for taking part.
That's all that counts, Natalie. That's all that
Yeah,
counts.
when you lose, that's all that
You
counts.
put in
yeah.
lots of effort. We
Fuming over here,
appreciate it.
really deep down.
Everything's great, yeah. Everything's fine. Yeah, cool.
We're going to go back now to the Arctic Circle. We're going to go back pitch side to FG and Shells.
Hello and welcome back to Bodo. We're warm now, you know. I mean, we're getting warm with the atmosphere here, Shells, because we're getting closer and closer to kick-off. Look, it's a massive game because City need a result here, of course, and not quite there yet in terms of qualification. As we hear the amazing anthem right on cue. Shells, how do you feel?
Speechless. That noise, it just does something about you. I don't know what it is. Even just imagine as a player what that must feel like. But now, as a fan of the game, it's just a noise that you can't recreate.
And like we said before, the atmosphere in and around the city throughout has all been about Manchester City coming here for a Champions League game. But our opponents, we've been watching them warm up. They are very, very focused and they're looking ready and they're wanting to cause an upset here.
Yeah, of course, they're at home. They want to impress the fans as well. And like I said before, they still have a chance to make it to the knockout round, so they have to believe in themselves, of course. But it's got a tough chance, and I mean, the boys at City, they want to redeem themselves from the derby loss. So it'll be a big game for both sides, but hopefully the boys at City will get the result.
Yeah, I think so. And of course, we have to touch on the main man like we have again, Erling Haaland, because there's so many supporters in this country for him, and rightly so. Of course, they've recently just qualified for the World Cup. I caught up with a fan earlier on, Ollie, who was from the Norwegian supporters club, and it was just so much excitement for what's ahead. From Erling's perspective, like we said earlier, he's going to want to put on a great show for them, isn't he?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you look at the capacity of Bodo, it's 50,000 people. Of course, I think Norway isn't the biggest country of the world, and when you've got a global superstar like Erling Haaland, everyone supports him, even if you're a rival club, a fan of him, and even fans all around the world. So of course he wants to put on a performance, and we know he likes to score every game he plays in, and he'll be looking to try and score here today as well.
Let's talk quickly before we head back about that centre-back pairing of Max Allain and Kushinov, because they're both very young, but they've got amazing qualities, in particular speed.
Speed, I mean, we talk about speed on FC, that is the #1 stat that we look for. But of course, I mean, let's talk about Allain. You're getting a recall from Watford. Of course, the defender injuries has been a bit unfortunate from City this side. But I mean, to get a recall from Pep Guardiola, you must be doing something right. And I mean, he's coming to the team, he's giving his best, and that's all you can ask from the young players.
He's looked really, really confident as well, like he's been playing in this team for years, and that's all you want to see. And it's once again, another credit to the work they do at the CFA, the Manchester City Academy. We keep seeing new products. Once again, we've had a couple of players who have travelled, part of the travelling squad. In particular, Floyd Samba was here as well. So, yeah, I mean, massive congratulations to the Man City Academy. One man who knows all about the Man City Academy is Nedum, because we had a great opportunity to watch the girls' team in the Abu Dhabi Cup. I mean, Steph's in the studio too, which is perfect. So I'm sure they'll fill you in about how amazing they are there and how amazing our future is looking, not just in terms of the men's football, but also the women's too.
Thank you so much there to FG and to Shells. You had a lovely time on that Abu Dhabi trip.
So I'll do it again next year if they want me to. Pencil it in.
He's always on them. Nobody else gets to go. It's Nedum's Cup.
He's going China tomorrow.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll have to have words after the show.
It's fine, it's fine. Why not me?
Sharing
Make the case. Make the case. Why not me? Why not me? Go on.
No, I'll let you. If there's anyone that's going to do it, it'd be you.
Appreciate you.
I like that. I'll let you. I like that. Right, we've got less than 10 minutes now from tonight's 5:45 in the UK time kickoff. You will get your full match commentary on the City app with Alistair Mann and with Kit Simons. You can see these incredible shots of the away changing room tonight. There's one where you can see that we've taped a Manchester City flag onto the wall with like masking tape. I love it. I absolutely love it. It'll keep them down to earth, won't it? Just remind them, the grassroots core of football.
Of course, at some point, every pro player's had to go through this type of thing. They just thought they would have been clear of it in the Champions League, to be honest. But, the thing with dressing room, it's just to wait before you go out on the pitch anyway. So these things will be quirky. I'm sure they'll take their pictures, but as long as they win, I don't think they'll care too much.
Well, this is the first time ever that Bodo Glimt have been in the Champions League. It's also the first time ever that we have played against a Norwegian team outside of friendlies. So it's a big, big night coming up. Of course, we currently sit 4th in the Champions League, big old table. We need to finish in the top 8 to avoid those dreaded playoffs. There is 2 games left. Steph, it's a must-win tonight, isn't it?
No, I really do think it is. I think in terms of what we experienced last season, in terms of the playoffs, I think it's just so important. The run that we've had this season is we've played really well in the Champions League. I think to win it Real Madrid away, I think it would be such a shame if we win there and don't go and win tonight. And I think in terms of where we are in the season, I think it's important just to keep winning and just to try and get us back to the form that we know that we can kind of perform at. And tonight's going to be a really tough test, but I think we have the quality and we have the players that are able to kind of have these experiences and come out on top.
Yeah, definitely. And time to shake off Saturday, concentrate on tonight, look forward, get some confidence, get back into winning ways tonight.
100%. I think as a fan, it's always that little bit harder to shake off something that's just happened. But for those guys, as soon as that game was finished, it's about recovering, getting ready for the next match. You have to take the lessons from that, but start planning for the next thing. And yeah, the next thing is right here. These guys are playing so much football, by the way. I feel like I'm blinking, there's another game for them. And that's tiring me out, so I hate seeing what they feel like.
I think in football as well, Nat, these footballers, it's so important that you don't really get too high emotionally. And obviously when you do get beaten, for our team especially, they're not used to getting beat. So it's about how you manage them emotions. And I think what Nedum said in terms of it probably has been in the mind a little bit, but not so much because you've got a Champions League game around the corner. So hopefully we can kind of put the rights and wrongs of the weekend and really focus on this next part of the season.
Couldn't agree more. Good way to end the show today. Just give us a quick score prediction.
I'm going to go 3-0 City.
Oh, yes, Steph, yes.
What are you saying yes for? Because you said that we're going to win. Has anyone ever sat in these seats and said they're not going to win?
Yeah, exactly. Come on, confidence.
No, it's confidence. But
what's your score?
I'll say 4-1.
4-1. I'll take 3-0 or 4-1. Right, we're going to go over now to the wonderful Alistair Mann and to Kit Simons. And tonight, will a Norwegian player score against a Norwegian club in the Champions League for the very first time? Let's hope so. Over to Alistair Mann.
Thank you, Nat. Well, if you didn't know it was a special night in these parts, you certainly do now. A sellout crowd, fireworks exploding above what is actually a clear sky. Bitterly cold conditions, but actually not as cold as the last time I commentated on a game from this stadium when it was -15. It's nowhere near that. It's round about -1, -2 in terms of conditions. The pitch, of course, is absolutely immaculate as it's 4G, so that was never going to be in any jeopardy. And this is a very special night for the hosts, Bodo Glimt. Truth is that when the draw was made, it was exciting enough because they were in the UEFA Champions League proper for the very first time. But when the name Manchester City were pulled out, it meant so very, very much. And the fact that it's here in Norway makes it even more special because although Oscar Bob, of course, could have been playing here, there is only one name on Norwegian supporters' lips, and that is, of course, none other than Erling Braut Haaland. The two teams make their way out onto the field. The UEFA Champions League campaign resumes after more than a month, with the Blues in Norway to face the country's champions of last year, Bodo Glimt. It's City's first ever visit to the country for a competitive fixture. and if they can secure a victory, it will propel them up to second in the giant league phase table. Indeed, if the Blues win here and then at home to Galatasaray, they will be certain of a top 8 finish, and they will bypass the playoff round, which of course saw their demise against Real Madrid in the first ever season of this new look league phase. The hosts have just finished second in their latest campaign to Viking Stavanger, but they did reach the Europa League semi-finals last season, recording impressive victories against the likes of Porto,